you about the power of third party, especially when it comes to three-way phone calls. Because what I've come to find out inside of this business is that unfortunately the people that you know, your warm market, have very little respect for you. And it's because they trust you. And here's what we've come to find out when it comes to third party. If this is you, okay, and these are the people that you know, okay, these are your prospects. Or some of them are considered suspects, these are the people that you want to share with your incredible business, your incredible service with. And unfortunately, there's very little respect when it comes between you and the people that you know. Why? Because they know you. They know everything about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the really ugly, So these people that are your warm market have very little respect. But what you guys do have is you have a thing called trust. Okay? Meaning, that's why they'll take a recommendation from you about a good movie, a good restaurant. If a stranger walked up to you and said, hey, you got to see this movie, you'd be like, oh, okay, no, I don't, weirdo, go away, But if a friend said, oh my God, you got to see this movie with the same passion and intensity, you'd be like, really? Okay. So you'll take a recommendation from a friend or family and somebody that's in your warm market because you guys have trust there. And usually the more trust you have, the less respect that you have. That's why because there's love there. You know that, if I don't show up to their in-home presentation, it's okay. They'll still love me tomorrow. Whereas if it's a boss, okay, there's less usually trust and more respect. And therefore, if you don't show up on time or do the things that you're supposed to, there could be a loss of a relationship. So here's what we've come to find out, is that people, or your prospects or suspects, they do have respect for an expert. Now, an expert is basically anything but you, really. And this is really where the third party comes in. Now, the best party is always third party. For those of you that like partying, third party in this business always wins. Always. Why? Because it will duplicate. Because third party doesn't have anything to do with you. It's kind of like directing traffic. I don't know if you've ever seen people in the middle of the road, or police officers, when they come where they're doing there's directing traffic, left, right, this way. Can you imagine if they just stood in the middle of the road and didn't do anything? That's first party. What happens if that happens? Yeah, you get hit. You die. You don't want to die, all right? And so in this business, it's kind of like directing traffic. So when people are coming at you, prospects are coming at you, asking you questions, what you want to do is you just want to direct traffic. You want to direct them to the website. You want to direct them to, another person. You want to direct them to an event. You want to direct traffic towards third party. Why? Because anybody can do that. Instead of being the expert, don't stand in the way of your own success here, guys. It doesn't help you, I promise. All right? So third party, an expert, that could be a DVD, it could be a tool, it could be a website, it could be a presentation on an event. But I'm going to talk to you guys about using an expert as a three-way call. Now, a three-way phone call is basically, you can use that with anybody who understands this system. And the three-way phone call as the expert, I'm not going to do this training as the expert, but more so as you getting your prospects or suspects on the phone with a three-way phone call expert. And what you're going to do to complete this whole thing is you're going to do something called edification. Meaning, all you got to do is speak highly of the person that you're going to introduce your person to. Because what that's going to do is that's going to build the respect. This particular model, with the trust that you have and the respect that you build with an expert, I'm telling you, this is what's built huge organizations inside of our business. And the teams that are doing more three-way phone calls, their business is growing. The teams that are doing less three-way phone calls, their business is shrinking. Why? Because there's less duplication, there's less third party, there's less stories. People always want a second opinion, and so this is great because putting them on the phone with someone else with a positive story, positive experience is a great way for them to have a second opinion. Usually before a lot of people buy something, they always want a second opinion. This is a great way for that. But here's how you get to the three-way phone call. Because first, before you put somebody on the phone with an expert, they need to have something to talk about. Meaning they need to have seen some information. So they need to see the website, the DVD, listen to an overview over the phone. Listen to something, right? And there you're going to do is transition. Now I'll let you know a few things that have helped me transition. Because when I follow up with somebody that I've exposed to this business, the question I ask them is the money question. Which is, what did you like best? I don't care what they thought. I just want to know, what did you like best? And from that, I'm going to find out if they are serious curious. Because, you're only going to get a few different responses. They're either going to be positive, they're going to be negative, or they're going to be inquisitive. They're going to start asking questions. Now, a negative response is, that's stupid, or that's a scam, or something like that, then I'm just going to drop the subject. That's it. Well, thanks for taking a look. I really appreciate it. Who do you know? Can I keep you informed? That's about it. Who do you know? Can I keep you informed, right? Who do you know that, you think maybe this wouldn't be stupid for? I don't know, right? But those are negative. Positives are easy. If they say, wow, this is awesome, tell me more, then obviously it's an easy way. Well, great, let me introduce you to somebody I'm working with. It's an easy transition. But a lot of times that's not what you're going to get most of the time. Negative, you're not going to get most of the time. Most of the time you're not going to get super positive. You're going to get in between. You're going to get inquisitive, meaning how does this work? Or what is this? Or is this like one of those things? Or I don't know if I have the time to do this. You're going to get an objection or a question or I don't know if I've got the time, or all these things that come up. And on a different video, I'll go over objections and how to overcome them in your business. But with this, I want to talk about kind of transitioning. So what did you like best? They say, well, the service sounds great. The product sounds great. All you can say is, well, you know what? I like that too. Whatever they say great. I liked it too, because I'm assuming you liked it as well. All right. So I like that. But here's what I loved. I loved the mentorship program. I love the fact that there were always people that were there to actually help me. In fact, I'd love to introduce you to one of the people that I'm working with that has had a tremendous amount of success, loves helping people, has been helping me out a ton, okay, knows 100% of the facts, and is just a blast to work with. In fact, I'd love for you to hear their story, their experience with this business. Hang on one quick sec. I don't ask for permission. I just call my expert. Now, obviously, you want to make sure you have your expert available before you give them a call. Text message is a great way. Hey, are you open for a three-way phone call? Or maybe you called them earlier and said, hey, I'm going to be doing follow-up phone calls for the next hour. So a very simple way, just make sure you have an expert available. But I don't ask for permission. I'll say, hey, would you like to speak to someone else? No, I don't. Hey, listen, this is what you're going to do. You're going to talk to someone else because that's the next step. People always kind of like, what's the next step? Well, I don't know. I'm not in charge. I love saying it. I don't know. I'm not in charge. But I can introduce you to the people who know everything. They ask a question and be like, look, I don't want to give you a partial answer. I'd rather give you 100% of the answer than 20% of the answer. So actually, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm new. I'm just getting started. But I'm working with people who know everything. In fact, hang on. Let me see if I can get them on the phone so I can actually get that question answered for you. Or they want to know, well, how does this all work? Well, they've got some incredible events. I don't know, maybe I could open some doors for you and maybe introduce you to somebody. So here's two lines that I love. The mentorship program. I love saying I'm not in charge. I love saying I could open some doors for you. So introduce you to somebody. I'm directing traffic. I'm just getting out of the way. So that way, this isn't about me. This isn't about my story. This isn't about my success or maybe lack thereof because maybe I'm brand new. This is just saying, look, I can introduce you to the right people, meaning I know the right people because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I know the right people. And so the three-way phone call is incredible. Now, as an expert, we'll do another training, another video on being an expert on the three-way phone call and your role. But really, it's just to share your experience, relate to the person you're talking to, find out what it is, their reason maybe they might want to do this business, okay, and find out, are they ready to get started or do we need to direct them to more information? Invite them out to an event or direct them to some more information. That's about it. Answer their questions. So as an expert, it's pretty simple, and you'll learn that. And how you get good at becoming an expert is you just do this a bunch and you listen to your expert because it's an ultimate field training program in this business. And so using three-way phone calls is crucial to your business. I hope this model kind of helps and you kind of see it. But more importantly is when you start to do this and teach it, this is what allows you to have the duplication and the freedom, because once you teach it and then they can teach it and they can teach it, eventually you'll have people doing three-way phone calls for their team, and that frees you up to basically do whatever you want. So you can start building more organizations, or you can spend more time with family, or doing more things that you love and more of the things that you're excited about. So that being said, use these. They're awesome. They rock.